You can't have a culture without a code. You have to have the components for your culture to represent if you want people to be committed to it, because they got to have something that they stand by, something that they're a part of that gives that cult-like following in order for you to have cultures. You can't build culture without having a cult.
Dude, he just gave y'all $1 million worth of game for sure. I would like you guys to give a huge apex round of applause for my personal friend, Marcus Barney. You may be seated. Thank you, guys. Marcus, welcome to Texas, big dog.
Man, welcome. Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Glad to have you as a part of this. So, if you don't mind, for maybe the people that aren't familiar with how awesome you are, if you would just tell them for a couple of minutes a little bit about yourself and what you got going on, I appreciate it.
All right, so I built the community of, now it's about 20,000 members called Recession Proof. And what we've done is teach people how to bootstrap and start your own business from your own wallet, leveraging credit. And, you know, we've done things from large events, Las Vegas, Miami, you name it, doing events together. But overall, the most impactful thing is that we had over 30 people make $1 million in business in under a year and become millionaires. But we also got over 3,000 people who have been able to quit their 9-to-5s from the things that we've been able to teach and build.
That's awesome, man. What's the biggest event that you've thrown? What's the attendance?
Biggest event, we did 5,000 last year, Las Vegas.
Y'all, 5,000 people is fucking amazing. Like, it is a chore to get 500 people in a room. An event with 5,000 is like a concert, y'all. That's like next level. So, yeah. Congrats on that, man.
Nah, I appreciate it. So, yeah, the biggest one we did was 5,000. That was last year, Las Vegas.
So what got you into doing this? What made you decide to go down this path of teaching and educating people?
It wasn't. So now it's cool to teach and create communities and things like that. But at first it was like, I think I was like most people, is that we go through entrepreneurship, we figure something out. I figured out how to leverage credit. I figured out how to go get lines of credit. And I was like, damn, you know, I'm like everybody else. I don't want to tell nobody what I know and how I know how to do it. So I said, if I can get 10 people and I can help them get $1 million, even 100,000, we got $1 million to invest together. So I was like, yo, let me get 10 people. I got 10 people together, and that's how it started. It's like I just wanted to have my own circle of friends because nobody else was willing to do it. So I said, well, if I make you give me $1,000, maybe you'll take it serious. It's worth my time. Well, I made 10,000 off of it. Right. I built it. I said, okay. I realized everybody was different. Out of the 10, 2 took action and was active. The other 7 needed things like they wanted to just learn how to generate an extra couple $100 a month, couple $1,000 a month. They didn't want to do what I wanted them to do. So everybody has a different mindset and approach to what they see as success and what they wanted to take away from what I was offering. So I just continued. I just put everybody in a group. And we made a Facebook group, and in the Facebook group, the next month I was like, okay, well, let me try to get 10 more people, and let's see how it goes. The people from the month before started teaching and networking with them. By the time I look up, they start hanging out. Now we look up, this is our 5th year, we got 27 chapters across the United States of members that we've been able to cultivate, and it just continuously grew and built.
So you create leaders. Right? That's your whole purpose, is to create leaders to help advance your movement.
Yeah. 100%.
So why recession proof?
Recession proof, I call it recession proof. I got my real estate license in 2006. The market crashed in 2008. Life was great. You imagine being 18 making $14,000 check. It was like life was great. And so what I realized is that in that moment when the market crashed, I thought I would retire by 30. I call it recession proof because I moved to Atlanta and I started doing everything from selling bootleg sneakers to cleaning gutters, working in a warehouse. Like I did so many different things chasing that high of the amount of money I was able to make. And so at that point, that's when I realized, like, yo, I don't ever want to be in a position where the economy affects my livelihood and my lifestyle. So that's my mindset has always been recession proof. Can't get nothing better than that though, right? Because then another recession happens and it fell in my lap. Everybody like, oh, I'm recession proof. And I was like, as cliche as it sounds, like this was 2012 I started this stuff. 2013 I was yelling this. And so now it just fell in my lap. And so that's what, recession proof came from.
There's a big lesson to that for you guys out there. He started this in 2012, and it wasn't even really relative and relevant until recently. How many times did you want to quit and say, fuck this shit and go do something else from 2012 till 2023?
Nah, listen, when I tell you I've quit. I've quit.
Like, I have tried.
Yeah, I quit. I do other shit. It's just certain things just come in. It didn't get cool. Like people ask me, like, yo, what does Him 500 stand for? Which is my name and my brand. They ask me, yo, what does it stand for? I tell them, him as in I'm him, but the 500 was for like Fortune 500. But it didn't mean shit years ago. I just never changed it. And then it caught on. People like, oh man, that's cool. I'm like, it wasn't cool. It was a Twitter name. Shit, it was just some shit I put on Twitter. It wasn't profound. It just became that. And it was literally came from Twitter. And so that was my thing, is that throughout life, like this is your mastermind. This is the apex. This is the members mastermind. All right, can we talk? Can we talk regular? I mean, I know y'all can give a fuck about my story. Nobody cares, right? I was
waiting for this. Thank you.
Yeah, like nobody gives a fuck about my story. Like nobody cares, right? Get into like when we start building these things, like when you building a business and you building everything out here, I tell people all the time, within my community, I seen and I found more power than anything. But building in my community, like I did a conference for 5,000 people, but the shit was free. And everybody like, oh my God, it's free. It's not free. You have to be a member. You guys are all members. So when you guys look at doing things in any business that you have, everybody here should at least have 4 pillars where whatever it is that you do, you should have some kind of digital product to where you can sell an email that can scale to infinity as much as you can turn it over and run ads so you can sell emails. You should have some kind of in-person event where people can touch you and actually get to know you on multiple different levels to each of these. And then you should also always have something where somebody can touch you for a high level, a high amount, whether it's 25, 50,000, 100,000, $1 million, 10,000, where some kind of high ticket where people can trail you on a real personal level and really get to know you and get that interpersonal experience. It's always 4 pillars to it, but all of them wrap together. Like I've been able to build a $25 million business in 2 years. Like in 2 years, we did $2 million at an 80% profit margin. And people say, yo, how the fuck did you do that? Yeah, y'all give a round of applause. I think that's...
You were still talking, so they didn't want to interrupt you, but yes.
But people ask, like, how did you do it? I said, once I found one thing that worked, I kept cultivating everybody into my audience, into my life. I didn't just go and say, oh, I found one thing that makes money. I'm like, no. With my live in-person events, it was $5,000 to be a member of my community. Well, my event is free for members. More people joined to be members to come to the event that was private that they couldn't come to. I got Floyd Mayweather, Rick Ross. They like, yo, how do we come? You got to be a member. More people joined in those months around my events that were free, which the members absolutely love. More people would join. So my business and community will grow. And then once they get in, some of the people was like, yo, I don't even care about nothing else. I just want to come to the events. And because the experience was like a family reunion. Because everybody started to get to know each other from when we would do things. So then I would just randomly do cheap events. We went to a skating ring. I took over a skating ring last weekend on Memorial Day and had 1,000 people there, and it was free. It cost me $5,000. That's not a lot of money, but do you understand the community build that comes into it? But a lot of people don't realize, like, yo, it's things that I can do that's gonna impact my business and my bottom line tenfold versus, marketing, advertisement, the regular ways. Like, you gotta be creative on your exposure and your touches to people because everybody wants to be, involved. It's not always just transactional with me.
You know, you might be sitting there thinking, well, I own a construction business or a roofing business or a plumbing business. You're like, the whole digital shit's not for me. And that's not true. Think if you followed his model for, let's say, your electrician business. You can make a YouTube video that you sell for $4.99, like $4.99 on how to install a plug in your house, right? How to put your own switches, how to switch out your own fixtures. And then when people buy it, what happens oftentimes is they go, fuck this shit, I'll just pay a professional to come do it. And that's the option on the sale. So now you've got a cheap digital product, 99 cents, $1.99, just to give people the information. And you're already on the job site showing people, just get somebody to hold an iPhone as you switch out the fixture. Now all of a sudden you've got a demo product for it. The next level is, like he said, he's got a mid ticket. So hey, yeah, we'll send somebody out there who can do it for you for $70 or whatever. Or the high ticket is where, hey, we go buy it for you, we do it for you, we deliver it, we insure it, we guarantee it, so that you've got those levels in your business. So just because Marcus here is in the digital world, don't discredit what he's given you that advice going, oh, I do something that's brick and mortar or whatever the case, because that is universal, my friends. So that's solid advice.
That's the recession-proof mindset, because it doesn't matter what it is that you do. I help people. I have a lady who has a virtual office and does physical things, and I trained her how to do it. Exactly what you said. We will break it down like this. This is the important part about a mastermind when you start thinking, because now we're looking at electrical, somebody who switches out fans. Create a fucking tool that you only use, that you go get from Alibaba, whatever, and now you go and create a tool. But now you also put it on YouTube. People on YouTube make more money than your business probably does, fucking showing how to switch out a light, because guess what? Nobody wants to pay or have to wait. So I don't give a damn. Like, I don't want to wait for somebody to come out and switch my ceiling fans. What you do is figure out things. I looked at a coffee maker. I bought a new home, and they had all these damn morale, whatever this shit was, throughout my whole house. I'm figuring out how to fuck this. I'm sorry, excuse my language. But I'm like, I'm good. Yeah, I figured I was good here. I'm like, yo, how the fuck does this coffee machine work? I go watch a YouTube video, got 1.7 million views. I said on average this video is probably producing $10,000 a month on YouTube. I go look through the channel, it's 10, 15 videos at the same rate. I said they're making $100,000 a month on YouTube. Guess what? It's a way that you monetize no matter what it is that you do, but you have to understand what we have to do is don't get into a point where we say, oh, that's for the kids. TikTok and those YouTube, man, that's those kids. No. Everybody, you have to grow it into your business. You have to have those verticals. So when you say digital, you go, okay, I may go and make YouTube videos based around what it is that I do. I don't care if it takes off. It may take off in a year. It may take off in 2 years. It doesn't matter. It's still there. But once it gets traction, it goes. But then off of those videos, only use one tool that you made yourself and you manufacture, have somebody drop ship it. It's so many ways. It doesn't matter what industry you're in, because it's just a mindset approach. When I say recession proof, it's not an industry. It's a mindset to how we attack business to be able to creatively create verticals in the company with things that are like trending today and valuable today, not just providing one service. If you provide one service, that's too close to none.
It's so funny you say that, because how many of you have seen ads on Instagram where it's like, oh shit, I've got to have that, like an ear cleaning thing? Or the other day, I get a lot of rancher advertisements because I own land, right? So the other day they got this tool that looked like it was really easy to pull wire and make a fence out of. And I had a fence that a tree fell down. So I bought this tool. I got all excited to use it. I watched the video. Man, fuck that tool. Whoever was in that video was clearly this tool's professional, and I needed practice. And so instead, what I do, I hired somebody to come out and fix the fence. However, if that tool would have sold me, hey, if you can't figure out how to use this, we've got pros in your area, they would have made a ton of money. But that happens all the time. Think of how you could insert some tool in your life, hopefully that actually works, to get that attention with that upsell. Could be wire, going back to the electrician thing, could be some wire cutters. Hey, these wire strippers are 10 times better. You won't get shocked with them holding on to the handle, XYZ. You've got to get them from us. And then they realize how hard it is to strip wire anyway. Bam, you're in there. It was brilliant.
Or an ebook that said best practices and ways to use this tool. That's an ebook is literally an email. So you get paid for putting a button on the end of the checkout page and say, do you want this ebook for $7? And it's just to sell them an email on how to use it. I'll take you one further. What he just said was so good is that you said you're on a ranch and you keep getting all these damn ranch ads. I tell people, Create.
Keep buying shit too, damn it. It's an addiction.
Whatever it is, industry that you're in, I tell people, make a Finsta account, which is a fake Instagram account, and only go look up shit in your industry. You want to see who's making money and what they're offering and doing in your industry? Make a fake Instagram account and go hashtag search only things in your industry. What's gonna happen? And then when you see the videos, save them and then forward them to that own DM. Don't go look at a sports highlight. Don't go look at a friend's page. Only look at things relative to your industry. The best people in your industry will then find you. The best marketers who have products that perform will find you. You'll be able to see what the fuck people are buying in your industry and how they're making money and you're not. Then don't only look at the shit and be like, oh, that's cool, buy it. So you can actually see the process. Get their thank you email, see what the upsells are like, see what their follow-up emails are like, see what those sequences are like how are they making money and you're not. So then that way you can get an idea and say, okay, these are things that I'm missing. How can I implement these things comfortably? What is it that works? How are they advertising? Because a lot of times it's not an advertisement. You may not see something that is a direct advertisement of a tool. I seen a doctor talk about the reason why we should drink salt water. And I went through the whole thread and I read it. It was about a 10, 15-minute read. And I'm sitting here reading all these damn slides. And I said, damn, salt water is better. You sweat it, you pee it, all of these things with salt water. And then, it had no sale at the end. I was like, okay, they're gonna try to sell me something. It was no sale at the end. I went through, and then at the end of the post, in the caption, it was like, we drink this. And I go to it and I said, shit, this was a crazy ad because it got me. But the doctor's page, it had 100,000 likes on it. And I go look at the Instagram page. The page probably had 80,000 followers. But I looked at the way that they positioned their advertisement. It was still a good read. I read so much that I was already sold before I seen the product. And I said, that's a hell of a way to advertise. On their page, it had more lighthearted marketing, typical marketing stuff that I would have went past. But because they made me read, I actually bought. And I said, well, I'm gonna start creating more content that makes people read. Because if I can get you to read this long into one topic of something that I teach, most likely you'll convert and buy. So these are things like practices that you want to really start looking into, like what are the practices that I can actually implement to take my business to the next level? How can I actually start generating more income? I don't know about you guys, I'm a money motivated dude, and that's what I focus on. So the only thing I'm gonna talk about is like, yo, how the fuck do you go make money? That's it.
Dude, he just gave y'all $1 million worth of game for sure. Like, the fact of look how to set up a fake account, just the simple shit that didn't cost you nothing to go do that, and now all of a sudden you can peep out what the best of the best are doing and go after them and compete, dude. That is absolutely. I love the way you think. By the way, I love the way that you think, man. A lot of people, they don't do that. They sit around and wonder, and you're like, hey, I'm sitting here trying to find solutions. You know.
Yep.
One of the things that you've done really well that I've watched you through your community is effective partnering. Tell us a little bit about like how you go about doing that, finding people, because man, you're into everything. Jet charters, ambulance, private ambulance business, real estate. You've effectively, event space with Neo, you're effectively partnered in a whole bunch of stuff, man. So talk to us a little bit about that.
So the dope thing about building community and building a personal brand is the influence that you have. And so
build your machine, people.
So build the brand, yeah. So when you build it and you have influence, I have a flashy lifestyle. So I fly on private jets, I drive nice cars, I do things, I do events, but we do so much. And what I realize is that over the time, I see my influence. And so I'm like, yo, I remember guys going to buy Lamborghinis and buying Rolls Royces to hang with us. And I'm like, dog, a car don't get you in a fucking room. We get this shit for fucking marketing. Like, this don't mean we friends. We ain't friends because we got nice cars. We made money and bought nice cars as friends. But I realized our influence, and I said, it was crazy. I never even exposed this, right? We went to the car dealership, and the dude that was selling us the cars started buying the cars. And I said, he making a shitload of money. I said, but we ain't getting shit from it. Like, yo, what's the referral? Like, you know, and it was despicable what he said he would give us for a referral. And I'm like, we bought 25. I seen somebody spend $1 million on cars. You telling me $2,500? I said, okay, got it. Cool, respect for that industry. I said, I talked to my brokers. We was flying jets. I said, I'm going to buy a private jet, but I'm going to make these assholes give me a part of their company, and I want to partner with them when I actually buy the jet because I know what's going to happen. So I went and partnered and bought into the private jet company in the brokerage side who owns nothing. They have no debt. I'm like, well, let me have a percentage of this. I want to buy a jet from you. When I buy the jet, you'll get commission anyways. So you're going to double down on me. You're going to get my investment, plus you're going to get the sale. I said, I'll take the benefit of all the tax breaks and be able to charter the jet and make money off of it. And it'll bring us traffic because everybody's going to want to charter my jet. And since mine won't be available, your volume goes up, and I'll help you with social media marketing as well. Thank you. So I bought my jet. When I bought my jet, my internet sales went through the roof. Boom, out of there. It almost paid for the jet, minus the tax break. So immediately, I almost break even on the jet. Well, the company evaluation goes from 50 million to 100 million. I realized after dealing with the jet, charting it out, is that fuck this plane. This fucking business is where the money is at. They have no debt. I'm sitting here fighting with pilots because I forgot to give them a Christmas bonus that they're pissed off. I'm like, oh, I didn't know y'all was like my employees. I was hands off in this business. So I learned the industry, but what I learned was my influence made me more money than the jet did. The company goes up to 100 million. We get an $84 million offer. They're like, nah, we're not taking that. I'm like, why? They're like, bro, we can get to $1 billion. I'm like, well, how many of me's do you plan on getting? Like, I just did numbers. He was like, now we got more. We see what we can do with you. Let's just go get more people. And it exposed me to something. But my deal was, it started from looking at ways that I impact and the influence that I had. And I'm like, you know what? Let me figure out how to do partnerships now and look at getting into businesses and taking the evaluation up. That way, when it exits, this is how I'm gonna get to 100 million, by leveraging my influence. That private jet company has went through the roof on bookings. We've then created multiple Instagram accounts for empty legs. And the thing about it is, nobody could tell you the name of the company unless you really know me. Nobody knows that I even was partnered with it. That's the power of partnerships and branding. On a smaller level, I'll go in and say on something more so easier. We recently I had an education company. My friends, some guys I know, they have a media company called Earn Your Leisure, which is EYL. They have the #1 podcast when it comes to like financial literacy and investing in the Black community. I go, y'all got an amazing community, but y'all don't have the education component. I have the education component and has dominated it, but I don't have the media. It's two things that's gonna happen here. You're gonna have to compete with me, or I'm gonna have to compete with you and come and build a media component out, or you're gonna have to come compete with me and build out an education component. What I looked at was build something to be #1, become the biggest and the best. You'll only be able to partner with the biggest and the best. And what happened is that we collided, came together, and that was another partnership that I created. And now, versus me going out spending ads in $50,000, $100,000 a week on advertisement, now they get 1 million, 3 million downloads a week on audio and media. So now I don't have to pay for advertisement because it's inserted into their media component. So sometimes you have to realize, how do I replace my cost in my business to make my bottom line go up and bring down some of my advertisement costs?
That's exactly what I was telling y'all about earlier, about acquiring companies and effectively putting companies into that portfolio without having to grow your own stuff so much. That's a prime example of that right there. It's brilliant. And congratulations, by the way. Those are solid dudes, man. Y'all got a killer program. I mean, a killer program. So
Appreciate
I have a lot of admiration for what you guys are doing. So you're 35, 36?
34.
34. So I tried to do the math. You said you're 18 in 2006. My GED didn't get me there quite all the way. But anyway, so you've achieved a lot in that period of time. You built some amazing companies. You have one daughter or two? Two. And, you know, you've built a hell of an influence and everything else. So my pastor said, and this is, he's the first person that told me, but I Googled it, it's true. We don't start, as Americans, we don't really start making real money until we're in our 40s. That's good news for a lot of you. Then your 50s, and Ed Milet told me this one time too, your 50s, you start to compound the decisions that you made in your 40s. So if you make good financial decisions in your 40s, you start to compound that money in your 50s. Your 60s is when you create wealth. And believe it or not, you can Google this, your 70s are when you earn the most money in an American's lifetime. My voice is going, y'all, if you haven't been able to tell. So I say that because you got a long ways to go. You're only halfway to your earning years in reality. So what are you gonna do? What's the next move? What's in your mindset? And you ain't gotta tell us like, you know, your next move, but like, what's your mindset going in? So, cause I know if you're like everybody else in the room, it's like, okay, I got it, I don't wanna lose it, but I still need to grow it. So what's your mindset for the future there? Cause you got a long road.
What I realized, I come from a place called Stockton, California, and I moved to Atlanta, and it was a total different culture. I come to Texas, it's a total different culture. I'm like, y'all, wait, they really wear cowboy hats? Like, and I've never seen, like, nobody have the pride of a state like Texas. When I first came to Texas, right, I don't even want to, the Longhorn sign symbol everywhere. I said, wait a minute, nobody reps like this. Like, but the culture is totally different. I go to New York, the culture is totally different. Like, they don't talk to you. And I'm like, all right, I've been in Atlanta a little bit too long, maybe I'm getting soft, where it's just, I'm a Southern boy now because I'm used to people saying hi. I said, okay. I go to Dubai, I go to Europe, I go to South America, and I started realizing that I'm not exposed enough to the world. For me to leave from my city and go to another state and live in another city and see the cultural difference, I said, this was a big change for me. At this point in my life now, I realize that it's a whole world out here that I gotta understand. Like, why haven't I ever been to places like Istanbul and all of these different places, the Quebecs, the Saudi Arabias, and you look at so many businesses and so many lifestyles. If I was able to change and grow and accelerate from coming from California to Georgia, what happens? What kind of elevation grows when I go to, and I move to a Dubai? I move to a Saudi Arabia who wants to be the richest company. They want to take over what Dubai is. Like, how do I insert myself into these ecosystems and really go to the next level? Not only as a businessman, but as a human. How much am I missing in the world? How much am I not cultured and am I ignorant to? Because I figured out that now that I identified that I don't know anything, I identified my ignorance, I identified that there's a lot that I don't know. It's more that I don't know than I do know, but learning that I don't know everything and how to leverage the things that I find out to take me to the next level. The world is at my disposal. So at this point, my next thing is that I just want to become, a world-renowned businessman and learn different industries, but also become cultured to where I can go anywhere in the world and just understand how other cultures work and just adapt to that, because I haven't been exposed to enough. I can't be based about America. We have too many things that America, just in this house, have programmed to make it like this is how the world works. And when you leave out, you realize, like, this is not how the world works. It does not look like what they told us it looks like. And you start to see the love, and you start to see the hate for Americans. But that's part of the world that we got to understand. So my biggest thing now is, like, going out into the world and really just taking advantage of everything else that's out there to offer.
Sounds like you're committed to continual growth and contribution for the rest of your life.
Yep.
So we got a minute left. I got one question. This is just personal. So what's the deal with the Viking dude in your videos lately? And why did you choose that?
Branding, mascot. Most people don't realize, like, you can't have a culture without a coat. And with that being said, is that it's certain things that have to be implemented into your culture that is cult-like, to build a cult-like following. You must have a mascot and some kind of representation. You must have a color. You must have a chant. We are Apex. That's a chant. You guys are a culture that you guys have. So with Recession Proof, I have a Viking is my mascot. Recession Proof blue is the color blue that I will always have on some way, some form of fashion. I will have on Recession Proof blue. There's an emblem on my hand that is an R that I built out that represents recession proof. You have to have the components for your culture to represent if you want people to be committed to it, because they got to have something that they stand by, something that they're a part of that gives that cult-like following in order for you to have culture. So if anything I can tell y'all is that you can't build culture without having a cult.
You know, I was just sitting here as you were saying that. I was like, I wear this red Rolex Pepsi because it matches my Apex red. I always wear the black. Like, I have the tattoos on me of the G code. And that's how committed two people are to making a change and to their brand of change in the world. Is they're like, man, I'm going to get it inked on me. I'm not just going to say it. I'm going to live it, be it, wear it, represent it at all times, man. So that's pretty damn cool. Anything you want to add on the way out?
I want to do that chant. Fuck that. Can I do that?
Yeah, you gonna lead it?
We are Apex.
We are Apex. We are Apex. We are Apex. We are Apex. We are Apex. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Marcus Barney.
Hey, we're having a conversation about financial plans.